Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be hunting a coolant leak on the Corvette and we're going to show you how to fix it. I have it narrowed down to either the radiator or the lower radiator hose, so we're going to have to get under here and see exactly where it's leaking from before we get started. So I drove the car up on wood to get the jack under, and you can see just in the couple seconds the car is running, we already have a puddle of antifreeze starting. All right, so we got the car up on jack stands. It's actually being supported by the jack stands now. If you work on a C5, I assume C6 or similar, I always put a piece of wood on my jack it up on the center cross member, then put a jack stand on either side. You don't want to be putting your jack stands under your A-arms, so just use the cross member to jack it up on and use the cross member to put the jack stands on. And you can see we got a good bit of antifreeze here. Yeah, is that more back there? I don't know. No, it's an old stain, I think. So going under the car, that's the air dam. Come up here, you can look, you can see the radiator hose, which appears dry. I hope maybe the clamp came loose some. It's a little wet there. I grabbed it there because I had coolant on my hand already. And right here on the support, you can see it dripping. I'm guessing that's like a little channel, like a U channel for lack of a term, and it just builds up in there. So I'm guessing it's cracked somewhere in there, unless the drain was a little loose, but I would not be that lucky. All right, so you come around to the top here. This is going to show you how to change your radiator on any C5 Corvette, so 97 to 04. Might look a little different if you have a aftermarket cold air on it or something, but this one's 100% stock, so we're going to show you what to do to get your radiator swapped out and back on the road. All right, so let's get started here. We're going to first take the air box out, or your cold air intake, whatever you have. There's a vent tube that goes over here. Just pull that out. Mine's barely hooked up. And you're going to want to unplug your mass airflow sensor. Put that wire out of the way. Then it looks like there should be some grommets here on the bridge. Mine are missing because my car, I did not do this. Anything that's hacked on this car that I did, I'll gladly claim that was not me. So the next thing you want to do is you're going to disconnect the tube from the throttle body. So you need either an 8mm or a flathead screwdriver. All right, so that popped off the throttle body. I'm not sure if there's anything else holding the airbox in. My airbox literally just kind of sits in there. So you take that off, set that down, and you have the front piece that is connected in the front, but I think that could actually stay on. All right, so now that all that airbox junk's out of the way, this is what you're left with. You're gonna take this cover off. There is 4 bolts, 2 on each side, one here, just for reference behind the hood strut. One there and one there. They're 10 millimeters, 2 on this side, 2 on the passenger side. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off next. All right, so like I said, you take 2 bolts out on each side, and you're gonna lift this up, pop it off. It comes right out. Put that on your pile. Keep all your stuff together. All right, so now that we're at this point, we're gonna drain the coolant out of the vehicle. Basically just get yourself a catch pan and open the drain. All right, so if you're under the car here, very bottom of your radiator, that's your drain right there. Every radiator is a little different. Some of them have like the petcock type. Some have a little like fitting that you put like the end of a socket in, like a 1/4" drive socket, and loosen that way. But this you just got to twist off to open. So obviously put your drain pan under here, reach up and take the drain out and let the coolant out of the radiator. All right, so I got big hands, and it was kind of hard for me to get my hand up around there to turn the drain for the radiator. So I'm going to show you what I used. I used a pair of these 90-degree needle nose, and just kind of reached up, grabbed the drain, and turned it a couple times until I can get my hand up and get it loose. I just couldn't get enough torque on it to get it loose. Like I said, my hands really don't bend that way, and they're kind of big, and it's a little tight in there. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to unhook your hoses for your radiator. We're going to start with these 2 on the passenger side. They're right there, so you're going to need a pair of pliers. Grip them, pull them back, and get those off. So like I was saying, you grab these with your pliers and you just slide the clamp back like that, just so it's off the off the nipple on the radiator, and then you can go ahead and wrestle these off, which I'll probably need 2 hands for. I got those off. I actually broke the one tab off, but again, the radiator's junk, so I'm not that worried about it. But be careful when you are doing this, even if you're taking your radiator out for something else, and you're going to be reusing it. So make sure you're careful with that. And the more I look at this, I kind of think I have the wrong radiator in this car. There's fittings for a cooler in the side there, which I assume would be the automatic version. I did order a OEM AC Delco piece from Rock Auto. It was about $200 at the time of this video, but it was specifically for a manual trans, so I'm thinking that's the difference, not having the cooler ports in the side there. So moving on, you're going to want to take your other radiator hose off, take the top hose off. We're going to start here. I am putting new radiator hoses on the car, so we're taking them completely off. I mean, I guess you could just take them off the radiator side, and then the bottom goes there to the water pump, and the other one's on right above the drain. So we're going to start with the top one here. Again, you'll need an 8mm or a flat screwdriver. All right, so as you can see, the upper hose is off. While you are taking all the stuff out of the front here, it's not a bad time if you want to change your water pump. I'm not going to do it at this time. Hopefully not too long. Plan is for next winter, I'm going to take the front of the motor off, put a cam in it. So a little bit it gets driven, it should be fine. But yeah, any maintenance items that you might free up space for in the front, belt, water pump, crank pulleys, and torch crank pulleys, have a look while you got all the radiator and everything out of the front of the car. But anyway, we're going down to the lower hose. Again, it's right there. And then on the other side, above the drain on the radiator. Same deal, flathead or 8mm. All right, so you're under the car here. Getting dripped on. The drain's down here. You look up, there's your radiator hose. So you're gonna wanna loosen this up, pull it off, and you'll probably lose some coolant. So you have your drain pan ready as it starts loosening up. I'm getting dripped on, this is great. I'm pulling on the top here. As you're getting air in there, you can hear it dripping on the bottom. So like I said, put your, before you remove the lower hose, make sure you put your before you remove the lower hose, put your drain pan back under the vehicle. To get that bottom hose off, the radiator just slides out. It is not bolted in at all. It's between the fans there and your AC condenser. But these do connect. So like you can see down here on the passenger side, how the condenser slides down into that slot. You got to pull the condenser up and out like that to free up the radiator. And then the fans are the same way. It's hard to get a good shot down there, but it slides into a tab and you got to pull them up. And I'm going to have to use both hands, I believe, to get them out. But you need to pop the fans off the front and the condenser out of the back. And something I thought was crazy, my AC don't work in this car, and this condenser is literally falling apart. So the passenger side's all loose. I got to pull the fans up out of here on the driver's side. I did have to muscle a bit on the passenger side, so don't be afraid to put your back into it a little bit to pop that up. And I'll show you on the new radiator. You'll be able to get a little better view once it's out of the car. All right, so back to the fans here. You can see I kind of have them pulled back. There's a clip on each corner with the fans. I don't know how well you can see down there, and then up top, both sides. Hopefully now this radiator just slides right up. So you can see the radiator's almost out there. Like I said, you work it back side to side. It's stuck on something. So let's see what it's stuck on here. So we almost have it out. We're pulling it up here. This is the passenger side, and you can see how the top tab on the condenser there got hooked on the bottom radiator. So we're gonna have to lift that up and out, and it should come right out then. And then we ran into the same thing on the driver's side, where the bottom tab on the radiator caught the top tab on the condenser. So we're just gonna have to get this out, and then the radiator will be out. All right, so there you have the radiators out of the vehicle. You can kind of get a better view of the tabs. I was saying that the the fan assembly clicks into these on the four corners, and you have to pop them out individually. Then on the front side, you have 4 tabs, and that's where your condenser clicks into. So yeah, you gotta pop all 4 corners of the condenser, 4 corners of the fan assembly out, and careful, like I just ran into there when you're pulling it up, that the bottom tab on the condenser doesn't hit the hook on the radiator. All right, so that's our new radiator there. I misspoke earlier. Like this is the GM one. It's for a manual trans, and it still has the holes there for like a cooler. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I was wrong. But yes, we're gonna slide this back into place, and we'll wrap this up. Before you do put your new radiator in, make sure the drain's tight. It's easier to do it now than when it's in the vehicle. All right, so you got your new radiator here. You're gonna slide it down into place between the fans and the condenser. You can see there on the bottom, there's like the foot on each side that slides down through the it slides down through the radiator support. So you just gotta feed that down in there, and if you look up top, you can see I already checked the other side, but it's correct there. And then you have your how the condenser sits. Sorry, it's in the slot in the front. So everything's good. We're ready to do reassembly here. Put your hoses back on. My hoses, parts store didn't have them. They'll be in tomorrow. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, and then I'll do a video tomorrow on the fill procedure on this. But it's put it back together. It's the exact opposite of what you did. Put your hoses on, fill it up. But we'll go through that procedure in another video. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video on how to change a radiator in a C5 Corvette. Hopefully you found this informative and helpful. Wasn't too bad of a job. I've never done it before. Only part that was a little tricky, I guess, was the fans and the condenser, getting them in those little tabs on the radiator. Nobody really mentioned that in any of the write-ups or other videos I saw, so that's probably the worst part, testing my patience a little bit, but I don't have a whole lot of that when it comes to working on cars, so it doesn't take much, but we got it in there, and like I said, the radiator hoses will be in at the parts store tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go grab them, put them on, fill it up, so I'll show you the fill procedure, and go for a test drive, and hopefully we're back in business. But again, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't already, hit the subscribe button. There's some other C5 content on the channel. Some more coming. Hopefully now that I got all the maintenance stuff, almost all the maintenance stuff caught up on the car, get to do some mods and have a little bit of fun with the thing. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you around.